Good afternoon and welcome inside the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center. Another Saturday afternoon here in Brantford, Ontario. Reese Dumaney here with you. Glad you're along with us for this one. It is the second time this season. It'll be Port Colborne and Brantford. First time here at the Gretzky Center. It was Port Colborne winning on opening night 4-2 at the Valley Center. Both of these teams coming off of victories against the same team. It was a defeat of the Air Centennials for both these clubs last weekend for the Titans, 4-3 here at the Gretzky Center, and Port Colborne winning 4-1 against Air yesterday. So it's a fresh Titans club against a Sailors team that has a quick turnaround after that victory yesterday. Port Colborne 6-5 coming into action today. Brantford Titans coming off that first victory of the season, sit at 1-7-2. We'll get your starting goaltenders at the first whistle. This is Robinson throwing it to the middle. That's off a stick. Scriven will take it the other way. Two Titans ahead as he's joined by Chase Bailey Reed with Stippen going to the far side. Backhander stopped, rebound. Stippen couldn't pot it. And then another drive is kicked aside by the goaltender Hutchinson. Banked off the wall and past Jackson Cunningham Lutz, who returns to the lineup. He plays with Gavin Christie this afternoon. As it's dumped in, Hutchinson stops it and sends it around the boards. That is just ahead of Del Priore. And now Christie back into his own end. His pass gets knocked down, but thankfully Cunningham Lutz able to get there in the middle of his own zone. Christie couldn't get it to Capel. Alexander will now take it into the offensive zone. Papel bumps him as both of them get tied up. They exchange a couple of pleasantries as both of them now head to the front of the net, and Gall gets knocked down. Puck squirts just past, and a hook is being called by the official. That is Dylan Whitbread in that far corner. So the first penalty of the game comes a minute and a half in, and it's Papel to the box for two or less. Our starting goaltenders is James Gall for the Brantford Titans. This is game number 11 for him. He is 1-6-2. Goals against average at .449. The save percentage .897. And as for Trent Hutchinson, the Oshawa Generals draft pick, Oshawa native as well, playing in game number 4. He is 1-2 with a .259 goals against average, save percentage of .926. It was his backup for today, J.D. Lowe, picking up the victory yesterday against the Centennials. This is Karmanov along the boards near side. Gruinich, he's now 7-1. Not that he had any competition for the tallest player in the league, but it's important to note that extra inch. This is Bray grabbing the puck and into the catching glove of Gall. No rebound. Off the draw, this is Alexander on that left wing side. To the circle, threw it out in front. Swing and a miss for strike one by Ian Robinson. D'Amico at the line, sent it to Alexander. Down low, they tried a quick pass to the front. All alone was Robinson. If that pass connects, it's probably 1-0 Port Colborne, as the Titans missed him in their own zone. Minute 10 left in Papel's minor for hooking. This Port Colborne power play, third best in the Eastern Conference. They've scored 9 goals on 35 tries, which is 25.7%. Alexander is hit by Scriven. Capel got it to the line, not out as it was held in by D'Amico. And now the Titans will get it clear. Capel was in the area, couldn't knock it down though. And then Hutchison will send it around for Zach Lowe. Backhanded into that Titans end. Matthew Oon in deep. That's off the stick of Wozni. Sent it to the line. This is Lowe now. Top of that circle. Fired one. Rebound up for grabs. And it's out of danger to the near corner. Wozni looks to the middle, has his man there. That's Robinson again. It's somewhere underneath Gall. And the referee blows the whistle. 22 seconds left in this Port Colborne power play. We'll get you our officials. It's Brent Atkinson and Dylan Whipred with the armbands today. Gareth Harwood and Alex Vestian are your linesmen. Couple of moves for the Titans this week before they got underway this weekend. First of 2 games for them. Is Preston Grice being released to the PGHL. And Ethan Arrogato back with the Titans. Saw limited action last year here at the Gretzky Center. With all kinds of speed. In over the line is McGee. He threw it all the way through the blue paint, and we are back to 5-on-5. Papel quickly across to the bench. That shot is blocked, goes to the corner. Frank bumps his man. Team leader in goals and points is number 24 in white. 8 goals, 7 assists for a total of 15 points. That's off the stick of Josh Lamb. Another try is knocked away. Karmanov in behind his own goal, able to get away from Josh Lamb. His pass quickly ahead for Gauthier. Tried to find Caleb Frank at the Sailor line, but that was interrupted. Mulholland quickly across to Karmanov. Shot so heavy, knocked the defender's stick out of his hand. In down low. Puck was coming for Scriven, but it never made it there. And Karmanov stepped up. Puck was sent off the glass and out. Mulholland being hounded by Lamb from behind. And Karmanov down in the offensive zone. So play is blown dead, and I think Karmanov looking for a penalty from the official. That's back-to-back games that Karmanov has gone down in the offensive zone and was a little slow to get up. Now the officials are going to have a chat to see if anyone caught anything and potentially where the faceoff is going to be. They direct it towards the Titans zone. So it'll be to the blocking side of James Gall. 5-1 the shots early on in favor of Port Colborne. Scriven into the neutral zone, off the boards. Hutchinson had to get it away as Chase Bailey Reed was hurrying to the goal. Off of Callaway's stick as he couldn't hold the line. Takis will just send it back in while his teammate Stippen tags up. Dickinson all the way across. Off of Villanez. Back to the line. Shot attempt. Bouncing towards the goal. Goal got across to make the save, but the net was wide open. And it's 1-0 Port Colborne and a penalty after this as well. So the Sailors go on top. And I think they're going to be shorthanded after the goal. Gall slid across to make the initial stop, but the entire 4x6 was open. Exactly 5 minutes in, it's 1-0 Port Colborne, and the Brantford Titans are going to the power play to see if they can get it back. Two minutes on the board to Del Priore. Giacomo Del Priore to the box for 2 minutes or less. McGee got it in. Gall out to stop it behind his own cage. Gave it to Mateo Gauthier. Gauthier tried to cut to the circle. That was knocked away, and it's off a stick and down. Christie in deep. Got it back to Gauthier. Gauthier in the circle. Off of Quinton Kim LeMay's stick. And the Sailors once again dump it down. 1:10 to go in this Titans power play. 7th in the Eastern Conference coming in. They have 9 power play goals in 50 attempts. That is 18%. And this is the 6th best penalty kill in the Eastern Conference for the Port Colborne Sailors. operating at 82.5% early on in the season. Quinton Kim LeMay just inside the line. Will go to that right circle. Send it all the way across to Christie. He has to avoid a man. Still with possession. Backhander down low. And now he'll head to the corner to try and retrieve the puck, and he does so successfully. Christie up top to Gauthier. It's a quick pass to Quinton Kim LeMay. Puck ricochets to Christie, back to Gauthier. He fires one and scores! A power play goal from Matteo Gauthier has this game even at 1. A rocket from the point. Just a minute and a half after Port Colborne took the lead. Giacomo Del Priore scores a goal, takes a penalty afterwards, and it costs him. 1-1. 13:20 to go in the first period. Hutchinson had to play it around to that far side. Callaway went to a knee to keep it alive. He goes off the boards. Capel couldn't get there in time. Back to Callaway. He knocked it down, but that's Lamb in his own zone. Capel bumps his counterpart. Oon in there as well. It's a 2v2 battle along that wall. Papel poked at it, but never got possession, and the Sailors will clear it. James Gall out to play that puck in behind his own net. That's off of Vander Elsen's stick and out to the neutral zone. Fresh off the bench, Grant McGee. He comes near side to Bray. Bray in on goal. That Gall goes down to handle and leave for Jackson Cunningham-Lukes. This is Wicklander over the Sailor line. Wicklander trying to cut to the net. Does so, but decided to dish it off, and nobody was home in the near side of the cage. Chase Bailey Reed, backhander to Mulholland. He's over the red line, just got it inside the line, but he's going to get it off a defender. Tried to find Vander Elsen, it was broken up, and backhanded out to the line. Just past Harris. Chase Bailey Reed settled it down, got it to Karmanov. Karmanov with a ton of space to skate up the rink. He'll get around one, get around a second, couldn't get around a third. Mulholland off of Wicklander's skate. He'll send it to the line. Vander Elsen poked at it. Arrogato tried to cut in, but that was broken up. Sent to the middle. Karmanov now fires, and that one just missed. Arrogato now in the corner. Trying to get away from Bray. Wicklander stopped. Found Gauthier. Puck almost came back to Wicklander. It now does. He bats it down. Tried to make a play on it. Couldn't. And now Alexander able to get it past Takis and out to center. Alexander goes off the far wall. Gets around Karmanov. Takis follows him. And then Karmanov intercepted that pass to the middle. So he'll take some time, try to avoid Alexander. Alexander knocked him down, took the puck away, but nobody was out in front. And now Karmanov will come to the bench. Gauthier to Quinton Kim LeMay, but the Titans were offside, And that stops the action. 9.5 to go in period number 1 in a 1-1 tie. Del Priore, the goal for Port Colborne. Gauthier has the goal for the Titans. Gauthier 6th of the year, now up to 11 points this season. Deflection caught Hutchinson by surprise a little bit. Lamb just over the line. His pass was stopped for a second. Follow-up try stopped, and the rebound is potted home. Jake Salvatore, that's another juicy rebound from James Gall that ends up in the back of the net, and it's 2-1 Port Colborne. That's Salvatore's 3rd goal of the year to give his team the lead. It'll be Salvatore from Boyle, hooking up on that 2nd goal for the Sailors. Stepping through the middle, finds Scriven. Scriven in over the line, but his pass missed Christie as he had moved in, and now a 2-on-1 the other way. Lamb on the left side, he'll shoot, Gall the save, rebound is cleared away. And now out to the neutral zone. Titans answer back. They fall down 1-0, tied up at 1, fall down 2-1. It is now 2-2. Adam Stippen with his 4th goal of the year, and it looks like we're in for a track meet here on a Saturday afternoon in Brantford. It was a 1.5-minute response after the first Sailors goal. Bit quicker that time as Karmanov with the puck in the neutral zone into the Sailors' end. Lost it just as he entered that line. Wicklander had stopped it for a second. Arrogato tries to fire, and it's off a stick up into the netting and out of play. Just 51 seconds after Salvatore gives his team the lead. Stippen answers. It's Scriven and Capel assisting on Stippen's 4th. 7 minutes, 53 seconds away from the first intermission. Karmanov winds up and fires, but he missed the net. Mulholland kept it alive at the line, down to Frank. Knocked away from Gauthier and sent to Alexander. Alexander finds his man, and there's another goal. Karmanov late getting back. And Port Colborne once again out in front. Hunter Villanez finds the back of the cage. That's a heck of a shot. Those top corner glove side for his 6th of the year. And it's 3-2. Play halted with 7:09 to go in the first period. Port Colborne on top, 3-2. Villanez from Alexander and Boyle. Give Boyle now 2 assists in the game. Villanez with 2 points. He assisted on the first one and scored the most recent one for the Sailors. That's off a body in the neutral zone. Pass was fanned on, intended for Takis, and almost resulted in a Sailors goal as streaking in was Ian Robinson. Robinson with it, tried to send it out front. It got blocked, and then he looked for the rebound, but Gall's glove beat Robinson's stick to the puck. Five goals combined in less than 8 minutes. Lowe tries to send it around. It was knocked away from Takis. Robinson back to the line. Now to Lowe, near point. Fires one off the stick of Gall into the netting and out of play. The Titans will get a change here before we get back underway. Ian Robinson leaning in up against Papel, and Papel will win that face-off. Banked off the boards, but to the line where Lowe sent it in again. Calway over to Takis, and out to Oon. Now Capel. Capel shoots one off his stick, and that finds the netting. And play halted again. 6:21 to go in the first period. So with this ozone draw, Titans top line out. It was a face-off win for Quinton Kim LeMay, but it's the Sailors coming the other way, trying to create something. Pass just squirted wide of the cage. Moving in is Marcus Harris. Karmanov now with it, looking to escape the zone, but his pass is picked off. I think there you just try and chip it out and take your chances to try and steal it. A dangerous pass. Frank will shoot one. That's into the netting and out of play. Karmanov trying to go up the middle to find his man, but it was intercepted just inside the line. And almost resulted in a puck in the Titans' net. Off the draw, it's sent around by Dickinson. From the line, Cunningham Lukes will shoot one, but making the stop is Trent Hutchinson. Shots now 16-10 in favor of Port Colborne. 5:11 left in this first period. Chase Bailey-Reed from the circle, moves to the middle and fired one. That ricocheted to the corner. At center, Gavin Christie. Pass was off of Alexander's stick, and then Alexander sent it to Cunningham Lukes. Knocked out of the air by Dickinson. Through the middle to Alexander. Alexander up the right side. Backhand pass. And now he receives it back. Shot from the circle. Gall the save. Rebound collected by Chase Bailey-Reed, but he fanned on the clearing attempt. Now off of Scriven's stick just inside the line. And it now squirts out to the neutral zone. Christie with a bit of time in his own zone. Tries to get past Alexander. Does so. Pokes it into the Sailors' end. Trying to retrieve the puck. Stick is tied up though. And now Alexander out to center. Gains a red line, just chips it in. Robinson's in on the forecheck. Tack is protecting it from him. That one banked off the boards. They will wave off icing. 1,000% that defender could have played it. Trying to go the other way was D'Amico, but he didn't get away with it. Backhand pass goes right to Josh Lamb. Salvatore was stopped by Calway. Robinson then hit by Arrogato, and Gall has to stop it at the side of his cage. Van der Elsen off the boards. Lowe tried to clear it. It stays inside the Sailors' end. Arrogato was stick lifted, but still goes to the corner up against Robinson. To the slot. Wicklander tried to turn and fire. Never really did get a good handle on the puck. To the middle, Lamb got a piece of it, but that's about it. And then standing up his man was Van der Elsen. Frank. He was looking for Wicklander. Puck was in the air though, and he couldn't knock it down. D'Amico the other way. Frank from the circle, fired it wide. Karmanov moves in. Backhanded down to Frank. Frank to the circle. Now forced to the line. Comes to Karmanov. He'll shoot one. And that one is stopped. 2.5 to go. First period, 3-2 Port Colborne. Gauthier. Gave it to Calway. Calway tried to find Quinton Kim-LeMay, but that was picked off and chipped out to center where Caleb Frank has some room to operate. Frank trying to catch Port Colborne on a change. Can't do it as he is knocked down. Stick got up into the cage. And the Titans go back to the power play with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first period. Already 1-for-1 on the man advantage. So with that top line out for the Titans, drawing that penalty, it'll be the second unit that will start this power play. Will Bray off for cross-checking. Papel on the draw, looking to get some help from Capel. They can't recover the puck. All the way around for Wicklander, down to Karmanov. Up against him is LaRiviere. Papel to Wicklander. Wicklander to the circle, down to Karmanov. Karmanov off the boards, back up top. Capel. Karmanov with the deflection, but it was steered aside. Not a bad idea to put him in front of the net. Papel got it to the boards. Joey Capel picked it up. Down low to Karmanov. Karmanov in the corner. Tried to get it to Capel at the line, couldn't, and the Sailors get it clear. To the line, Takis. Finds Gauthier. All the way across. Frank tried to throw it to the net, and Hutchinson had it somewhere. And play is stopped. .5.2 left in the first. 3-2 Port Colborne. And the clock just ran down for almost a full second. And play hadn't started yet. It's in the corner. 3 Titans are there against 2 Sailors. Robinson with a backhander over Frank. And inside that Titan zone. Gauthier with the first power play goal. Christie with all kinds of speed up the right side. Lost the handle to the corner. Still able to regain possession, though. This is Stippen. Back to the line for Frank. He'll switch with Christie. Frank in the circle. Save made. Rebound. They score! Titans now 2 for 2 on the power play, and they've tied the game. It's 3-3 with 15.5 to go in the first. First shot stopped. Second one wasn't. Caleb Frank continues to put the puck in the back of the net. Now give him 9 goals on the season. And that's his 5th on the power play. 6 goals combined in the opening frame. Will we see a late one? Probably not, because Lowe's going to go in behind Hutchinson and just hang out for the last couple of seconds. And that is how period 1 ends. All tied at 3 between the Titans and Sailors here on a Saturday in Brantford. We'll step aside and be back for period 2 in a few moments. Welcome back inside the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center. Period number 2 is about to start. It is 3-3 between the Port Colborne Sailors and Brantford Titans. I'm Reese Dumaney. Glad to have you along with us for this one. And what looks like it could be a track meet. A quick turnover results in a stop, at least for now. Titans inches away from taking their first lead of the game. No carryover penalties into this middle period, so we start 5-on-5. Capel threw it through the blue paint. Takis towards the net. That goes out the other side. Christie grabbed it at the line. Just a simple shot in on goal is handled by Hutchinson, and that was a very eventful start to our middle period. Hutchinson out of position. A wide open cage with a defender or two in the way, but Titans very close to getting their first lead. It was 1-0 Port Colborne. 1-1, 2-1 Port Colborne, 2-2, 3-2 Port Colborne, and then the Brantford Titans tied it with 15 seconds left in the opening frame thanks to Caleb Frank. .59 seconds into the second period. Face off to the glove side of Hutchinson. Back to the line. Mulholland's drive was blocked. Scriven fighting for the puck. Mulholland kicked at it, but it squirts out to Alexander Karmanov. Fan on the pass. Second try will go all the way through, and it's icing against the Titans. Del Priore, Salvatore, and Villanez. The goals for Port Colborne, Gauthier, Stippen, and Frank for the Titans. 2 of those goals in the first coming on the power play for Brantford. 2 for 2 on the man advantage to start the afternoon. Sailors are 0 for 1 through one period of play. Mulholland will get it to Karmanov. He'll look up the ice. His pass was off a stick, intended for Scriven. Chase Bailey Reed was bumped in behind the cage. Got the puck back, though. Decides to shoot it, but he found the iron. Mulholland will let one go, and that is handled by Hutchinson. It was Chase Bailey Reed trying to go short side, but finding the iron. It remains 3-3. First of 2 games this weekend for the Brantford Titans. They will be in Welland tomorrow to take on the Welland Junior Canadians. First meeting of the season between those 2 clubs. Frank in the corner, being just pinned against the wall. Gauthier there as well. His pass finds Quentin Kim LeMay. Didn't get a strong shot off as it banks off the boards. Salvatore. Frank caught up with him from behind. And Calway fanned on that pass. Salvatore tried to send it to the front, but it was taken away. Takis off the glass. It does squirt out to the neutral zone. And now back into the Titans' end. Gall rims it around. Gauthier comes back. Tips it to Takis. Chipped ahead to Calway. He'll give it to Caleb Frank, who finds Gauthier. Gauthier just sent it in deep. First one there was Boyle. Had a couple of assists in that opening period. Wyatt Calway was knocked down trying to escape his zone. Shot was stopped by Gall off the stick of Villanez. Pass to the front is kicked at. Definitely wouldn't have counted. But it's still cleared down, and it's icing charged against the Titans. 3 minutes and 2 seconds into the second period. Saw 6 combined goals in the opening frame. Off the draw, McGee couldn't handle the pass. Alexander now has it in the circle, goes down low. Alexander in below the goal line. Had Villanez there, couldn't get him the puck though. And now Takis has it along the wall. Now into the circle, Calway ahead to Frank. Tries to chip it to Van der Elsen, now finds Quentin Kim LeMay, who fanned on the backhand pass. Van der Elsen would have had a tap in. It was touched by a high stick. Sailors will touch it first, so we continue. Bray rimmed it around. Quentin Kim LeMay fires it back that same way. Bray got there first and sends it down, and that's icing against Port Colborne. Meeting number 2 of the season between the Sailors and Titans, 4-2. The Sailors were victorious on September 12th. As for Port Colborne, they've been on the road quite a bit over the last little while. This is the 4th game away from home in the last 5, with that lone home game being yesterday against the Air Centennials, a 4-1 win for the Sailors. Titans are finishing a 4-game homestand with this game this afternoon. Bray got it to McGee. That's off of Alexander's stick. Looked a little frustrated after he didn't pick up that pass. Arrogato sends it in. Lost an edge in the corner. And then Van der Elsen a little bit late getting to that loose puck. Poked by Alexander. He'll quickly come to the bench. Cunningham Lukes couldn't grab the pass. Shot knocked down by Christie. Wicklander up that right side now. Over center. Now into the Sailors zone. Wicklander gets that lane closed. Wicklander stops again. And now it's poked ahead to Harris. Save made by Gall. Christie late getting back. That was Josh Caesar getting a shot in on James Gall. Thrown in behind again. Salvatore will send it up top. D'Amico will get it back. Right circle. D'Amico tries to fire it. And it squirts out the other side. Chipped out and down into the Sailors zone. D'Amico being watched by Stippen. But it's D'Amico making the safe play all the way across the ice. Christie just chips it into the air. Right to Adam Stippen. He'll get over the line. Stippen with a backhander just out of the reach of Scriven. Skate to stick. Ryan Scriven found Chase Bailey Reed, but is poked away from him and then stopped by Scriven at center. Chase Bailey Reed couldn't connect with Ryan Scriven. Now Karmanov being watched by Lamb, who pokes it away. Mulholland being watched by Lamb. Uses the cage as a little bit of a protector. Off the wall and off of Stippen, all the way to the other side. Karmanov will just dump it in as he one-handed it deep into Port Colborne territory. Off the wall, Karmanov couldn't stop it. Chance for an odd man rush. This is D'Amico, the late man, as his pass squirted out the far side. Karmanov in the near corner. Pass was behind Scriven. Puck is on edge and no icing, as they thought Dickinson could have sped a little bit faster down the ice. Matthew Oon looked to the middle, decided to drop it for Capel. Capel fired one, and that is turned away. Karmanov at the line. Poked off of his stick. Del Priore in all alone on Gall, and Gall stuck with him the entire time. Karmanov lost the handle at the far blue line. And Del Priore, looking for his second of the game, is denied by Gall. It remains 3-3 with 13:02 left in the second period. Capel chips it up into the air, into the neutral zone. Matthew Oon, couple of Titans are ahead. Oon has Papel, decides to backhand it across, worked out, went right to Capel, and then Papel went to the front of the net and deflected it high. Off the boards to Gauthier. Gauthier to the middle. There's a shot. Puck is loose at the side of the cage. Gauthier now with it. Able to get around one defender and then a second, but lost the handle. And it's sent out to center. Chipped up by Takis. Frank was knocked down as he tried to get to that loose puck. Stopped by Harris, and the Sailors are offside as Villanez just ahead of the play. 12-11 left in this second period. Chances aplenty, but no goals so far in the middle frame. Gauthier off the draw. Jackson Cunningham Lukes to Gavin Christie, who has to avoid Alexander. Frank will sauce it to Jackson Cunningham Lukes through the middle. He'll shoot one, save made, and no rebound allowed by Trent Hutchinson. So 3 goals allowed for Hutchinson and Gall in that first frame each. But nothing so far in this second period. Gauthier, Frank, and Quentin Kim LeMay will stay out on the ice along with Mulholland and Christie. It'll be Gauthier to take this face off, and he'll win it. Quentin Kim LeMay quickly moving off that draw and fired a shot wide. Able to recover the puck, though, on the far side. Quentin Kim LeMay shoots again, save made. Second try, that was stopped too, as Frank didn't get a ton on it. And the pad of Hutchinson in the right spot, and then he corralled that rebound. Shots were 17-17 after the first period. Titans now up to 11 shots in this middle frame to Port Colborne's 5. It's now 28-22 on the shot clock in favor of Brantford. Titans, despite that win last weekend against Ayr, they were outshot 45-34. Now Priori down. Gall played it. Has to get back in position now, and it's in the back of the net. Port Colborne regains the lead. Gall just unable to get in the right spot after playing the puck at the side of the cage. And again, it was wide open. Sailors make no mistake, as Villanez has his second. Now give him 7 goals on the season. And the Sailors will win that face-off off the goal. McGee all the way across. Quick pass through the middle. That hit a couple of bodies and down. James Gall out to play it. He'll backhand it around past Mulholland. Chase Bailey-Reed tried to go back there, but Mulholland vacated the corner. Karmanov. Backhander around his own net. Mulholland up to Chase Bailey-Reed, who has to just chip it off the boards and out. Pass blocked by Scriven. The lone forechecker in the offensive zone. Mulholland over that Titan center ice logo, dumps it in. Hutchinson out to play it at the side of his net. Sent all the way around. Mulholland trying to move in to keep it alive. Does so for the time being. Scriven will try to get the puck back. Chase Bailey-Reed there as well. It'll be Chase Bailey-Reed firing one well wide. But got it in deep. McGee chips it out off of Chase Bailey-Reed. And now one Sailor is back. Shot misses the net high and wide off of Ian Robinson's stick. Chase Bailey-Reed over center. Lost the puck at the blue line. Pass finds Robinson. Tried to send it to the middle. That was D'Amico hopping up, but it was interrupted. Here comes Christie the other way. Gavin Christie in over the blue line. Top of that circle. Makes a couple of moves. Tries to chip it up and over Hutchinson, but he missed high. Christie still with the puck. Pass was off the leg of Salvatore. And now Karmanov has it in the neutral zone back at his own blue line. Wyatt Callaway. Pass off a stick, and then it looked like it hit Arejado in the chest. Christie was bumped trying to get to the puck. Chip to Wicklander. And now Callaway steps up with all kinds of speed and fires it all the way around. And we have a delayed penalty upcoming. The back referee in Atkinson calling a cross-check. So the Titans back to the power play where they are perfect 2 for 2 so far this afternoon. Hudson Wozni to the penalty box for 2 minutes or less. So Gauthier will lean in. He'll win the draw. Quentin Kim-Lemay had vacated his spot along the boards, but got some help. Gauthier fires. He just missed. Christie hustled across to stop it just inside the line. Caleb Frank now to Quentin Kim-Lemay. Tries to let one go. That one's blocked, and a chance for a shorthanded 2-on-1 the other way. Caesar outweighted the defender, and he passed it to Alexander, and the captain makes it 5-3. A shorthanded goal for the Sailors, and they lead it by a pair with 8.5 left in the middle frame. Fifth goal of the year for PJ Alexander. That is his second shorthanded goal of the campaign as well. The Titans now sending that second unit out on the power play. Karmanov able to grab it. Send it back to Caden Wicklander. Wicklander looks ahead, drops it back for Takis. Takis through the middle. In over the line, gets knocked down as he entered the zone. Takis trying to get back to his feet. And then it goes off the foot of Karmanov. And Salvatore now off to the races. Salvatore never got a shot on goal, as it just rolled or slid past the net on that far side. Capel quickly coming back to try and block the lane to the front of the cage. Karmanov up over center. Enters the Port Colborne zone and then gets bumped. Not very often you'll see him knocked down. Wicklander back off the boards up to Capel. Capel finds Takis. Karmanov net front. Takis to Wicklander. Fan on the pass, but still got the job done to Papel. Back to Wicklander. Over to Capel, who fired. Save made. Wicklander, sharp angle try, goes all the way across. Capel up to Takis. Back to Capel, who gives it back to Takis. Mason Takis back to Joey Capel. Wicklander now up top, and he's got the puck. He'll shoot one, that's blocked. Rebound poked to the near wall. Takis down low to Karmanov. Karmanov's pass up top, and that'll go all the way down. Power play over. It's now 5-on-5. Titans now 2 for 3 on the man advantage. That was off the stick of Nathan Boyle just inside his own line. Caleb Frank forced back up top and out. Caleb Frank lost it. Quentin Kim-Lemay was right behind him though. Kim-Lemay taken to the boards in the corner near side. Sent past Gauthier, stopped by Cunningham Lukes. And now here's Wozni. That's off the skates of Marcus Harris. Harris watched by Cunningham Lukes, sent back to the line. Boyle got the deflection out in front, but it's up and over top of Gall and out of play. 6 minutes and 4 seconds left in this second period. Sailors with a 2-goal advantage. Alexander from Caesar, shorthanded at 11:29. The latest goal between these two clubs. 5 minutes, 47 seconds left in this second period. Van der Elsen, along with Wicklander and Arrogato out there. Wicklander's got the puck. His shot steered aside by Hutchinson. Wicklander stopped it at the line. Got around one defender, but not around the second, and now he's going to get called for a penalty. And is a second player heading to the box too. Wicklander, the initial call. He's for sure headed to the penalty box. We'll see if anyone joins him. Saw the official point pretty adamantly at his second body, and it looks like it's going to be D'Amico and Van der Elsen. So that should still result in a Port Colborne power play. Get it all sorted out for you. The Port Colborne with their second power play opportunity of the afternoon. They are 0 for 1. And it'll be 5-on-4. So 2 penalties offsetting. Sailors with a chance to increase their lead to 3. They've got it, and they're set up in the offensive zone. Bray at the top, just inside the line, looks for an option. Del Priori back to Bray. Wanted to shoot, didn't have a lane though, so smartly dished it off. Bray, near side, got it back. Shot was blocked. Rebound to the far wall and cleared by Karmanov. Caesar to Del Priori. Around for Gall, who stopped it, and the Titans get another clear. So it's Wicklander, 2 for high sticking. And then Van der Elsen and D'Amico for roughing. All at 14:25. We play 5-on-4 with the Sailors on the man advantage. 40 seconds left. It'll be Wicklander 2 step out. Chip back the other way by Chase Bailey Reed. He's got a couple of feet into that Port Colborne zone. Now Alexander comes back. Alexander has to stop. Boyle has LaRiviere right with him. Decides to send it down below the goal line. Tried to force it through the middle. That was blocked. Up top, Boyle. Now to the circle. Alexander with a pass that squirts out the near side. Christie hit Alexander as he entered the zone. So now Quinton Kim-LeMay starts from behind his own net. Able to get around Alexander, who will go to the bench. Quinton Kim-LeMay still with the puck. Fired one, it was blocked. Another try is stopped. Quinton Kim-LeMay now trying to stuff it in. But Trent Hutchinson keeps it out and keeps the lead at 2. Now D'Amico and Van der Elsen out of the penalty boxes. And if you're wondering who's in that Port Colborne penalty box, that is J.D. Lowe, the backup goaltender today for Port Colborne. We saw him go over there to start the period, and we thought, what the heck's this guy doing? But makes sense. He wants to allow his teammates to get out of the box cleanly and not worry about the door. Callaway's got it, fires one. Hutchinson the save, and we'll do it again in the Port Colborne zone. My thought is he probably just didn't want to wear his mask on the bench. Backup goalies usually like to have some sort of style. Hat backwards, hat to the side, maybe a towel around their necks too, try and keep them a little warm. So J.D. Lowe, the penalty box attendant for the Port Colborne Sailors. That's sent off the glass, knocked down by Callaway just inside the line. Poked away from Quinton Kim LeMay. Gauthier won the race across. But then it's knocked away from him. As 3 Sailors are ahead. 2.5 to play in the second. 5-3 Port Colborne. Out in front off of Gall's stick. Wozni couldn't get a shot off. D'Amico all the way across. That pass off of Gauthier. Gall scrambling, and he's able to find the puck. With 2.25 left in the second. Face off to the glove side of James Gall. Matthew Oon out to take that face off. He's able to win it to Takis. All the way around for Hayden Mulholland. Past Mason Takis to Matthew Oon. Up to Tyson Papel. Now Joey Capel. Pass just through Matthew Oon, or it would have been an odd man rush for the Titans. Now with less than 2 minutes on the clock. Papel off the boards. Back out to Lowe, who has to go after that rolling puck. Has D'Amico near side and wanted to give it to him, but the pass was off target. Papel on his backhand, forced around, then sent it to the front. That's off of Hutchinson's stick. And Takis, who looked for a deflection, but the puck went all the way through. Mulholland then fires. That was blocked. Odd man rush the other way for the Sailors. And Gall slides across to make the save. Salvatore looking for his second, but he's denied by number 31 in white. $1:20 to go in the second. Scriven with a clean win in his own zone. Christie knocking his man down. Sent off the glass and out to center. Robinson at the red line, just fired it in. Gall to Gavin Christie. To That's Chase Bailey Reed. He lost the puck in the corner. And then he got bumped from behind. And that's going to be a penalty and potentially more. As we've got a pile up across the ice here at the Gretzky Center. Officials still trying to get guys up off the ice. There's Josh Lamb, very slow to make his way back to his feet. So 2 bodies being escorted over. LaRiviere for Port Colborne. Of course, Chase Bailey Reed for the Titans. Now Adam Stippen will wait for the explanation from the officials. .6 left. And Chase Bailey Reed was about to make his way out of the penalty box. Referees tell him to stay put, as they are still discussing the penalties. It was Chase Bailey Reed that was initially called on the hit. And I think he might know his fate as he's still standing in the box. Looks like he's just waiting for that doorway to be cleared before he comes over and across to the dressing room. Two goals in this second period, the difference. Port Colborne on top by a pair. It's 5-3 in the dying moments of this second period. And Chase Bailey Reed will, in fact, be escorted off and down the tunnel to the dressing room. It looks like Vander Elsen will serve his penalty. So the lone minor currently on the board to Dustin LaRiviere, and there's Chase Bailey Reed's two. So face-off will be in Port Colborne territory. We'll play 4-on-4 for a couple of minutes. Low in around to D'Amico. Salvatore up against Frank in a race for the puck. It's D'Amico poking it free. Another odd man rush as D'Amico tried to go short side but missed high. Back the other way. Comes Stippen. Leaves it for Frank. Frank from the circle. Now to the middle. Backhander stopped by Hutchinson. And now the Sailors back the other way. Looks like 3-on-3 overtime. Salvatore. Backhander to the middle. Comes all the way through. Here come the Titans with about 10 seconds left. Stippen to Christie. He'll fire one. Save made. Rebound to the near boards. It's Harris in neutral ice, and he will have possession when the buzzer sounds. 5-3 Port Colborne after 40 minutes. We step aside. Third period upcoming. along with you. Port Colborne on top by a pair. It is 5-3 to start this third period, and we start 4-on-4 with a couple of bodies still in the penalty box from all of the shenanigans with about 45 seconds to go in that second period. Chase Bailey Reed receives a 2-minute minor and game misconduct for checking from behind. And then Dustin LaRiviere receives a 2-minute penalty for cross-checking. Frank in the circle, fired one towards the net. It squirts out the other side, and Christie forced all the way back out to the neutral zone. Penalties have expired. We're back to 5-on-5. Frank from the circle tried to let one go. That's off a stick and up into the netting, out of play. Only game currently going on around the GOHL. 6 more upcoming tonight. All of them getting started at 7 o'clock Eastern or later. Off the draw, Gauthier got it to Wicklander, who turned and fired. Save made. Rebound. And it's stopped. Trent Hutchinson with a highlight reel save, sliding across to stone Mateo Gauthier. And it stays 5-3. That is a big save early in this third period. We've seen kind of how this game started with 6 combined goals in that first. It slowed down in the second with only the 2 by Port Colborne. But that is a key save early in this final frame. Salvatore had his stick knocked out of his hands, and then it just slid to James Gall, and he's on top of it to get a face-off. 3 seconds away from the 2-minute mark of the third period. And Hodson's going to get kicked out of the face-off circle. He looks thrilled. And Cardarella coming in to take it. He loses it. Mulholland tries to quickly move it ahead. It results in the puck going right to the front of the net. But it was cleared away. Harris got a touch on it. And now it's Mulholland in that far circle. Off a stick to Quinton Kim LeMay. Hutchinson couldn't stop it in behind his net. Wicklander kicked it to Karmanov, who sent it all the way around. Mulholland tried to let it go. It's blocked, and then just sat flat on the ice for a couple of seconds. Shot high, up off the glass, comes around to low. Back in for Hayden Mulholland to Alexander Karmanov. Karmanov back around to Mulholland. To Mateo Gauthier. Gauthier in over the Sailors line. Able to recover the puck in the corner. Tried to send it out front. That was blocked. Papel was waiting there for the pass. Chipped out to the far side. Jackson Cunningham Lukes up off the glass. So the Sailors' blue line where it was stopped. Gauthier trying to get it inside the zone, and he does so successfully. D'Amico moved it to low. Low again. All the way across. Alexander. D'Amico to low. Shoots one, knocked down, rebound cleared. 16 and a quarter left in the third. 5-3 Port Colborne. Rimmed all the way around the boards. Gall got a piece of it, but not enough. Del Priore has it and had it taken by Frank. Over to Adam Stippen. Stippen to Scriven. Scriven from the left circle, off a stick and off the boards. To Gavin Christie now. He'll move in, try to settle it down with his glove. Christie around the net. Out to that far wall. Has to stop and backhand it off the boards. Takis is there. Takis getting pinned by McGee. Stippen up top to Christie. Christie fell as he was shooting. Frank did get a piece of it, but it was still well wide. Caleb Frank to Scriven, who was all alone out in front, but he got a weak shot off that Hutchinson was in perfect position for. Christie moves in from the line. He tried to squeeze by Robinson, but Robinson took him out of the play. Frank to Christie. Went back that way. Nobody was there, though. Probably intended for Frank, but he was a little bit late to that spot. Christie quickly across to Scriven. Off of Frank. And Port Colborne just lucky to get it out as they were dead tired in their own zone. All kinds of pressure from the Titans, but no goals. Frank regains possession of the puck. Now over the red line, and then he got tripped up by Vander Elsen, who just entered the playing surface, and now the Titans are offside. Later on today in the GOHL, Caledon will visit Cambridge. That is a 7 o'clock start. Also at 7, big rivalry great game in Fort Erie. It's St. Catharines Falcons and Fort Erie Meteors. Meeting for a 7 o'clock puck drop. In Kamoka, the Kings will host the St. Mary's Lincolns. That starts at 7:15. At the Western Fair, London hosting Elmira. That's at 7:30. Also at 7:30, Strathroy is hosting Listowel. And then a 7:30 start in Caledonia as the Corvairs hosting the Hamilton Kilty Bees. Icing charge to Port Colborne. And now teams exchanging words in front of the Port Colborne bench. And the Port Colborne coaching staff doesn't look like they're too happy about that icing being called. So face off to the blocking side of Hutchinson. Scriven is tied up on that face off. It's finally poked out and taken behind the Sailors' net. Harris tries to send it across. That's off a body. Stippen came together with Caesar. And now Frank getting hauled down. Chipped off the boards and down. And they're going to wave off icing this time. Mulholland got some help from Karmanov, who has to go behind his own cage. Karmanov looks up the ice, finds Stippen. Stippen through the middle, just out of the reach of Scriven. And now Hunter Villanez the other way. He stops, threw it to the middle, off a skate. Now taken by Caleb Frank the other way. Frank over the red line. Will gain the Sailors zone, leave it for Stippen, but they're going to say they were offside. And that halts play. 7:02 into the third period. Still 5-3 Port Colborne. Mentioned the Titans will be in action again tomorrow. 7 o'clock start in Welland against the Junior Canadians. And then next home game here on Thursday, October 23rd, the Caledonia Corvairs will come to the Gretzky Center for the first time this season. As play is stopped one more time. Face-off coming back into the Sailors zone. Port Colborne will get back at it this Friday. That's October 24th. The Hamilton Kilty Bees will be in town for that one. That's a 7 o'clock start at the Valet Center. Christie gets knocked down and draws a penalty. Alexander's going to the penalty box. And the Titans go to the power play as Christie was tripped up going around his own net. Titans 2 for 3 on the power play. They're going to look for another one here to get within one. Alexander wanting an explanation from the official, Brent Atkinson. So he's to the penalty box for 2 minutes or less. Gauthier out there to take the draw up against Robinson. One back to Frank. Frank from the circle fired it high and wide, and it will ricochet out to the neutral zone and down into the Titans' end. Frank back up top to Christie. He'll fire one. Puck's up for grabs. Gauthier stopped. Second try, Stippen. And he can't stuff it home. It remains 5-3. Hutchinson was down, but able to get on top of it to keep it out. 38 seconds into this Titans power play. Puck in the circle, taken by Quinton Kimlame, back to Christie, who goes to Caleb Frank. Frank looking to the net, near side to Gauthier, to Quinton Kimlame. Tried to go across to Frank, pass was slowed down though. Frank able to regain possession of the puck in the circle. Tries to slam it home, can't do it. Christie back inside the line as Frank got knocked down in the circle. Quinton Kimlame works to the middle, lost the handle, but the puck stays alive in the Port Colborne zone. Gauthier down low, Stippen up top to Quinton Kimlame, to Frank, he'll shoot one, and Hutchinson sliding across to make another save. And that'll bring the second unit out for the Titans. Looks are there. Hutchinson just making the saves in key moments here in the hockey game. Karmanov down low, reaching for the puck. Able to get it. Send it back up top to Joey Capel. Capel, middle of the ice in the offensive zone to Takis. Back to Capel. Over to Wicklander. He'll fire one and he hit the post. Takis to Wicklander. Left circle to Capel. Tried to shoot when it was blocked and then kicked at it. It's forced in below the goal line. 8 seconds left in the power play. Papel in around the net. Has to stop. Papel looks out front. Goes to the front of the blue paint, but it's knocked wide. Karmanov. Capel wanted a one-timer. Karmanov couldn't get him the puck, though. Capel now shoots, and no traffic whatsoever. Trent Hutchinson makes the save, and he'll get a face-off in his own zone. We're back to even strength with 10:19 remaining in the third period. Ryan Scriven out for the face-off. Bray sends it all the way around. Del Priore was waiting for it. Was deflected into the Titans zone. Cunningham Lukes couldn't clear it. Alexander out of the penalty box. Puck in deep below that Titans goal line. Bray sends it to the far point. No shooting lane was open, and now a Titans penalty is upcoming deep in their own zone. That's Cunningham Lukes going face-to-face with Alexander. And Cunningham Lukes, the guilty party, is escorted to the penalty box. Harris will win the draw, back to Bray. Bray gave it to Villanez, back to Bray. Now in the middle, Harris was stick checked, and the Titans get a clear. Hutchinson gave it away to Gauthier. But then he lost it as a number of Sailors came back into their own zone to recover the puck. Caleb Frank up the right side, shorthanded. Looks to the middle for Gauthier. Backhands it off the side of the cage, and then Frank took a whack at it. But the glove of Hutchinson was right there to get a face-off in Port Colborne territory with 9 minutes and 6 seconds to go in the third period. Minute 13 left in the Cunningham Lukes minor for cross-checking. Again, no Chase Bailey Reed for the rest of this one for the Titans. He received a 2-minute minor and a game misconduct for checking from behind with 45 seconds left in the second period. D'Amico passed ahead to Robinson. Robinson, the team leader in goals coming into this game at 8. But the Titans have done a nice job keeping him in check. He's had his looks, but has not found the back of the net or the score sheet. Robinson, 8 goals, 2 assists through 11 games to start his year. 2 of those 8 goals coming on the power play. Been very effective to start this season, as he's going to be the man on the far side on this 2-on-1 with Alexander, but the pass was in the air and Robinson couldn't knock it down. That's all right. The Blue Jays couldn't hit anything yesterday either, as it's thrown through the middle and sent all the way down. I know this isn't baseball, but make what you want. You only score 2 runs, you're not winning a playoff game, no matter what move the manager does. Through the middle, Alexander is going to find himself all alone, but he'll fire it wide. As the Titans get another clear, now 26 seconds left in the man advantage. Robinson will fire it in on the right side of center. And the Titans with one last clear on the penalty kill, so their PK will remain perfect on the game. As Cunningham Lukes will step out of the penalty box. Harris with some speed up the left wing side. Tried to pass it to the middle. That was blocked. And quickly moved ahead for Mason Takis. Takis to the middle for Matthew Oon. Oon fires, and that is up and out of play in behind Hutchinson. Pretty well halfway up the glass on the second level here at the Gretzky Center. 7:38 on the clock. 2-goal lead for the Sailors. Callaway fires. Kicked out by Hutchinson. Callaway kept it alive at the line. Had to avoid the linesman at the near side too. Harris got it out into the Titan zone. Capel will move over center, over the Sailors' blue line. Capel looked to the middle, had Oon there, but he couldn't handle the pass. Another backhander is stopped. And it came off the stick of Capel, who's had his fair share of opportunities in this game. Oon couldn't corral it. Backhanding it was LaRiviere. And now it split the Titans' defense, and icing charged against the Sailors as they try to sneak Harris off the ice. Officials all over that. Hodgson tried to go for a change also, but they won't allow that either. So off of this icing, Quinton Kim-LeMay, Mateo Gauthier, and Caleb Frank up front for the Titans. That was LaRiviere off the face-off, being met by Caleb Frank, who has the puck now. Caleb Frank in behind Hutchinson. to the circle, has Mulholland. Doesn't give it to him though. He'll decide to shoot, and it's knocked away by Hutchinson. Quinton Kim LeMay had it taken away by McGee, who sends it down the ice, and perfect draw weight to allow his team to get a change. Mulholland through the middle. Chips it by the defense, goes in on the attack. Tries to beat Boyle to the puck. Kim LeMay off the boards to Robinson. His pass was in the air and knocked away by Lamb, who was then bumped by Mulholland. Exactly 6 minutes to play, third period, 5-3 Port Colborne. Quinton Kim LeMay finds Caleb Frank. Frank to Gauthier. Mateo Gauthier already with a goal. Came on the power play back in the first. Gauthier to Caleb Frank. Frank tried to make a move around Lamb, but lost the handle of the puck, and now it's Karmanov in the neutral zone. Karmanov goes off the boards. First one there, Dickinson. That clearing attempt off of Quinton Kim LeMay, who tries to chip it off the glass to get it deep, but the Sailors send it out and they'll get a change. And now play is stopped. And a face-off at center ice upcoming. The face-off will actually be just outside the Titans' line. Have no idea why they blew that dead. Nobody made a signal as to why. Villanez entered the zone. Pass to the middle was intercepted by Christie, and then he couldn't escape a forechecker and get it out. Puck finds number 6 in white, though. Wicklander helped get it out. Now here's Scriven with Stippen in the middle. Scriven forced to stop. Through to Stippen, who got a piece of it, but it went well over top of the net. And chipped out again by the Sailors. Stippen, along with Scriven. Christie sends it across to Jackson Cunningham-Lukes, whose pass goes off of Christie. And Gavin Christie will start behind his own net, but lost the puck, but then had to poke it away. It's an eventful trip in the defensive zone for Gavin Christie. Wicklander back to Cunningham-Lukes, who just goes off the boards to nobody. And now Cunningham-Lukes up to Stippen. Stippen through the middle. Wicklander was headed that way, but the pass was well in front of Caden Wicklander. Harris tried to chip it by Christie, couldn't do so as Christie knocked it out of the air. And he's got the puck again in his own zone with less than 4 minutes to go. Christie off the glass inside the Sailor line, sent quickly back out to Papel. Titans are offside though, so they'll have to tag up, and they do so. Off the boards, over Papel's stick. They're going to say it did get a piece of the lumber. Christie off the wall to Alexander Karmanov. Karmanov through the middle. Over the blue line, then over center. He'll dump it in. Karmanov, first one there. Backhander out in front. That's off the skate of Robinson and right to Hutchinson. And play is halted and a little bit of a scrum afterwards. 2-goal lead, O-zone draw. Does Gall come to the bench? .312 is a significant amount of time. Not a ton of time, but enough where you bring Gall to the bench, send that extra guy onto the ice. If you get one quick, you've got a ton of time to get one. And they will bring Gall to the bench. So it'll be 6-on-5 with 3:12 left in the third period. Have not seen a goal since the second. We saw 6 in the first, but the difference being those 2 middle period goals by the Sailors. Mulholland off a body in the middle, goes right to Takis. Takis lost an edge, went down. Mulholland and Robinson get tangled up along the near side. Robinson to the middle. Salvatore pokes at the empty cage, but it goes wide, and Caleb Frank corrals it. Frank will gain the Sailor line. Frank on his backhand. Threw it out in front. Kim LeMay was there. Couldn't get a shot off, though. Up top to Takis. To Gavin Christie. Christie leaves it for Frank. Frank to Gauthier. Back to Caleb Frank. Shoots one. It was blocked. Lamb got in the way, and he felt it. Stippen. Now Gauthier, he'll fire one, got the deflection, and it just missed on the blocker's side. Christie. Now Quinton Kim LeMay with 2 minutes to go. He'll shoot one, that's blocked. Frank will try and move in to get to the puck and will do so. Frank back, just inside the line, fires it off the body and out of play. Might be a perfect time for a timeout. Keep that top unit out there, and they will call a timeout and keep those top scorers out on the ice. Two teams have had some time to talk things over after the Titans timeout. Off the draw, this is Lowe going off the glass. Knocked down by Christie. Alexander was there, and it's poked ahead to Salvatore. Salvatore will seal it, and it's now 6-3 with 1:42 to go. Port Colborne will grab another couple points from the Titans and improve to 2-0 in this season series. And they will move to 7-5 on the season. Titans will drop to 1-8-2 heading into Welland tomorrow. Karmanov just inside his own line, up to Capel, through the middle to Matthew Oon. Now Papel re-enters the zone. Papel fires, that's high, and it rims all the way around and out. Karmanov back to get it. Over to Mulholland. To Matthew Oon. Oon through the middle to Papel. Papel intended the pass for Capel. It was well in front of him and off a stick. Sharp angle try is off of Hutchinson's stick, and he'll grab it out of the air. Salvatore from Alexander into the empty cage at 18-18. Salvatore with his second today and fourth of the season. Karmanov on his own side of center, gives it to Mulholland. He will send it to Colton Vander Elzen. He did enter the zone. Puck is just onside, but then he's knocked down, and the Sailors come the other way with numbers. Scriven hustling back, though, to make things a little bit even, manpower-wise. With 15 seconds left. Vander Elzen Gained the Sailors line but lost the handle of the puck, and it's back out to the neutral zone where Cunningham Lukes sends it all the way across. Arrogato fires it wide, and that will do it. The Port Colborne Sailors win it by a score of 6-3 and grab their 7th victory